I'm Andrew Fodge with Fittest by Andrew Personal Training out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And this is our monthly golf fitness tip of the week for the Arizona Golf Association. And today, what we're going to work on is stretching out the area of the midsection between your hips and your torso. As we've found working with many golfers, this area of the body can be pretty tight, to where when the golfer tries to load up into their takeaway, they have little to no mobility between their torso and hips. So everything moves as one unit. So what we want to try to do is give you some mobility to where you actually can stretch this area out and create some separation as you take the club away. So today's exercise or stretch is called an open book. And I'm going to show you 3 variations of the open book stretch. Hopefully you can do all 3. They all work a different part of the spine and the midsection in terms of stretching it out. You might feel some chest, you might feel some hip, but you should feel a really nice rotational stretch as you go through it. So here we go. This is our first variation of the open book exercise. What I'd like for you to do is to lie on your side if you can. Put your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders all at 90 degrees. So if you're laying on a mat, a really easy way to check to see if you're lined up appropriately is to see if your shins are lined up with the edge of your mat, if your thighs and arms are perpendicular to the side of the mat. You're pretty close, if not exactly right on, lined up with where I want you to be at. Okay, so what we're going to do is keep the knees together, hands together. You're going to take that top hand and open up. So I'm going to have Peter go ahead and open up for me as wide as you can. Now what I'd like is that when you open up, see how Peter's knees fall apart? I want these knees to stay together. Go ahead and open up again for me. Right there. So you want a nice big stretch here without the knees opening up. Now if we can, hopefully you can see this, I want the arms one straight line right there. From as long as you can get from fingertip to fingertip, you should feel a pretty big stretch coming from the arm, the shoulder, down through the hips. Then from this position, lift up the other hand towards the ceiling, keeping it nice and straight as well. This is the finished position. Then you're going to lower the arm that you just brought up, and you're going to close the book. Bring your palms all the way together. The trick, keep your knees together as you open up into that open book stretch. So go and try it again for me, Pete. So right there, looks really good. Knees are fighting to stay together. That's perfect. Reaching up for the ceiling, lower the trail arm, and close the book. This is our first variation of the open book. This is the beginning variation. I do this with pretty much 90% of my players, because we all need that rotational stretch coming across the body. Okay, let's try one more just to make sure we got it. Knees together, big open stretch through here. This arm is reaching up. We lower the arm and we close the book. So that's our first variation. Our second variation is going to get a little different part of the spine, different part of the shoulder. We're going to take the bottom hand and put it on the knees. You're going to hold your knees down this time. Take the other hand and put it behind your ear. Now what I want you to do is take this elbow and try to touch the floor in front of your body, and breathe out, reach that elbow up and open up as far as you can. Big stretch. Breathe in, roll forward. Breathe out, roll back. Now you should feel a difference in the stretch. Do you feel that, Pete? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Right on cue. So keep rolling with your breath. Try not to hold your breath. Try to breathe out as you open up. Breathe in as you close it. About 10 repetitions on this side before you do the other side. Perfect. That's our second variation. Third variation, we're going to get a different part of the spine again. Keeping this hand here, taking that left hand, and I want you to make a claw with it, and I want you to think of grabbing ribs this time. So you're going to try to grab your rib cage, and what I want you to do as you roll back is try to pull those ribs off the floor as you roll that shoulder back. So here we go. So try to pull that rib cage up. You're trying to create some space between your body and the mat as you roll your shoulder back. Roll forward, breathe in, breathe out, roll back. You should feel a difference in the stretch. More around the rib cage, more around the spine, the lower spine potentially, and hopefully it feels pretty good. Can you feel that, Pete? Mm-hmm. Does it feel good? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, and again, about 10 reps. So before you switch sides, do 10 with the long arms, do 10 with one hand behind your shoulder, and do 10 with that claw, trying to grab ribs and pull the ribs off the floor. Then flip over and try the other side. Now, if this feels really good, do another set. Do 2 sets, 3 sets of 10. You could do 20 if you'd like. The nice thing about this stretch, it's really hard to overdo it because you're just going with what your body is giving you to do. So just rotate or twist as far as you can without cranking on it. Your body will eventually start to go further and further each time you do it. This is a great warm-up stretch. It's a great cool-down stretch. It's a great stretch before your workout. It's a great stretch before you play, before you practice. This is a money stretch. Please do this stretch as much as you can. This is our open book stretch. This is our 3 variations. This is your golf fitness tip of the month. Look forward to next month, and we'll see you later. This is Andrew Fodge with Fitness by Andrew, based out in Scottsdale, Arizona. We'll see you next time. Have a great workout.